On February 4th, the Board of County Commissioners received a presentation from the Broadband Task Force, including Joanne Hovis from CTC Technology and Energy, Deborah Hall, Deputy County Administrator, and Evelyn Jacobson, Chief of Information Technology. They highlighted the lack of broadband services to customers in various areas of Charles County.
The first category is those areas where there is no infrastructure throughout the area that is capable of delivering broadband at the speeds that are defined as broadband by federal and state policymakers. And those speeds are really important because they determine whether there is grant funding or other kinds of federal or state funding available. And we therefore adopted the state and federal metrics for broadband service as a means of understanding that. Category 2 is a category in which it's not contiguous, unserved, but there are pockets, isolated roads within the area where there is not broadband infrastructure capable of delivering broadband speeds. So there might be infrastructure on a main road, a primary road, even some back roads, but some isolated roads that do not have a lot of density within a neighborhood will have no service at all. And in that way, residents of Charles County might find that their neighbors, just a little bit away, are served, but that they are not. They're in this very unfortunate and difficult position from an unserved standpoint. And finally, category 3, which is where, under federal and state definition, there is broadband infrastructure available. It passes the home or business, meaning that the infrastructure comes past, but doesn't actually traverse onto private property to the home or business, and is the cost of getting from the road to that home or business that is the significant inhibiting factor, and that the resident or business has to pay much of that cost in order to get service. And so even though by federal and state definition, that neighborhood, that area, that home is served, it's actually unaffordable for the homeowner to get service. And that's a very, very challenging situation.
Ms. Hovis explained to the commissioners that efforts to provide broadband services to rural areas will take an extended amount of time, possibly years, to plan and put into action.
I encourage you to think about this whole effort as a multi-year, possibly many-year effort.
Charles County is competing with other counties in Maryland, as well as companies within the state, for funding. In addition, the county is in competition with the entire country for federal funding.
It's going to take significant public funding to address the set of rural broadband issues, like all rural infrastructure, and there's simply not enough funding appropriated at either the federal or the state level to solve this problem for the entire country. I just want to say that as you think this through, please don't look at this as something that has to happen this year. Chipping away at this problem in a meaningful way, year by year, is going to be very important and good progress.
Despite the lack of funding, there will be opportunities to apply for grants, which Ms. Hovis believes will be a viable solution for handling some of the Category 1 areas.
Opportunity is that we believe there's an opportunity to apply for state funds in the near term to address some of the Category 1 areas. Potentially all, more likely some, because there's not an unlimited amount of state funding available, but that is a grant opportunity that is available right now that will this month actually close, which is why there's a need for pretty fast action. For recommendation number 2, these are the Category 2 areas. And I think to Commissioner Bowling's point, it seems like these should be easier to address because they're smaller areas, they're not big contiguous areas geographically, rather than they are pockets. But in some ways, they're actually harder to address from the standpoint of building a public-private partnership or solving the problem. And the reason for that is that the unserved are only little pockets of a larger area that already has service either from Comcast or from Verizon.
Category 2 areas would benefit from being helped by companies that are already in the area. This includes Verizon and Comcast, who the task force has already reached out to. Ms. Hovis had this to say.
Verizon has made pretty clear that it is not interested. Comcast engaged with us. They had all these conversations and these meetings. They haven't given us concrete feedback about exactly what they're interested in or on what timeline. But Verizon was very frank and said, this is just not somewhere we're going at the current time. We're sorry.
To watch the full video of the work session, click on CCGTV at www.charlescountymd.gov.